When migrants reach the central processing facility in Tucson, they're dirty and exhausted. Most have been walking in the desert for days without enough food or water. Some were caught by the Border Patrol just hours ago and still smell of sweat and desperation.
And we'll start by rolling them, all 10 fingerprints, and taking a photograph and entering biographical information into the computer database. We'll get information back from that with a criminal history, any prior immigration history.
All day, every day, even in the brutal heat of Arizona's summer, they arrive by the busload. Here, the Border Patrol tries to weed out criminals and discourage migrants from trying to cross again.
They are taking each individual alien and they are paying attention to his particular set of circumstances, and they are going to find the best series of consequences that we believe will prevent him from wanting to come back to the U.S.
Migrants used to be taken to the nearest border crossing where they immediately tried their luck in the desert again. But now agents try to fit them into one of many programs meant to deter them from crossing into the U.S. illegally once more. These people will be bussed hundreds of miles away to Texas for deportation. The point is to make it harder for them to reunite with the smugglers who charge them thousands of dollars to get across the desert.
We're trying to put the smugglers out of business. So if we can take that alien out of their clutches and perhaps put them somewhere else, then it's going to make it harder for them to make money.
Some migrants were even put on airplanes back to Mexico City until that program was halted this year because of the expense. Some migrants go to this immigration court. Repeat offenders go downtown in shackles to face jail time.
The hearings are like cattle calls. 70 migrants per day here at the Tucson Federal Courthouse. They're read their rights, they plead guilty, and they're sentenced to up to 6 months in jail, all within as little as half an hour.
Magistrate Judge Bernardo Velasco says the migrants have public defenders, their constitutional rights are respected, and people who violate the law are being punished. But that doesn't necessarily mean hauling migrants to court is discouraging illegal immigration.
There's no way of knowing if somebody heard that somebody got 50, 60, 75, 105 days, 180 days, whether that deterred somebody. You don't know. You may never know.
Critics say immigration cases are taking up valuable time and resources that should be spent investigating corruption and white-collar crime, and that some punishments are too harsh. Apprehensions of illegal immigrants have plunged since 2006, at least in part to heightened border enforcement. But the Border Patrol hasn't yet released data to show whether tougher punishments are working.
Don't be fooled by this nice green grass from monsoon season. This landscape is treacherous. One misstep, one sprained ankle, or running out of water, it could mean death for a migrant.
In Nogales, Sonora, just a few miles south of the border, deported migrants who have nowhere to go end up here at the Juan Bosco shelter. They wait in the chapel and watch telenovelas, then eat a simple dinner of soup and tortillas. Each one is pondering his options, trying to decide whether to sneak across the border again or go home to their families. Renato Arellano was sentenced to 2 months in jail the last time he was caught crossing the border. This time he walked in the desert for 3 days, ran out of water, and then he and his friend got separated from the group and lost. When Arellano tells the story of his journey, it's not the jail time that sticks with him. It's stumbling across 2 dead bodies beside the trail. They looked young, he says, 18 or 19 years old, just like him. And there were maggots. For the migrants bedding down here tonight at the shelter, the possibility of dying in the desert is just one reason to go back home. Now they also have to think about jail time. Arellano says he's still deciding whether to risk the desert again. Raquel Maria Dillon, The Associated Press, Tucson, Arizona.